Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm glad that you found us here on YouTube and have joined our tribe of survivors. I want to thank Mark M. and Dominic C. Thank you so much for donating to this channel, especially around the holidays. I really appreciate it, and just thank you so much. You guys are so awesome. And you know, the holidays are really hard, and that's kind of a little bit what I want to talk about. Because for all of you, when you're with a narcissist, holidays are hard because your ex, hopefully ex, we all know that they do not like to be around your family. They find it exhausting because it's exhausting to them because they have to wear a mask the entire time, to put on a persona extra thick just to hang around your family. So they don't want to do it. They want to do anything to get away from having to spend time with people. They consider it a waste of time, a waste of energy. They'd rather do this and this. Their time is always better spent doing other things other than just having family time, even though it's the holidays. And this is something that I had to deal with over and over again. It was particularly hard during the holidays, but really it was for any event. It could have been a birthdays, family dinners, celebrations, graduations. It didn't matter what it was. If it was for something that didn't completely revolve around him, he didn't want to go. He didn't want to do it. And time again, I would always have to make excuses for him, telling people, oh, he's working, he's really busy, I had to go to events alone, even though it was like I was the only one that was the singleton almost in the event. And everyone else was all coupled up with their families and husbands and wives. And even though I was married, I was there by myself and making excuses for him. Or I would go ahead and he would show up like 5 minutes before something started, and I would be there an hour or 2 hours ahead of time, and I would stay an hour or two after when he left right after. It was constant, and I know a lot of you out there can relate to this. And I'm sorry about my cat is always meowing as soon as I start talking on this on these recordings. So another thing I want to talk about is a friend of mine that I was talking with is going through a bit of a depression, and she was considering taking antidepressants. And I don't know if she knew that I was on antidepressants. I went on antidepressants, and I made a video, and I'll put a link in the description below of the video that I made about going on them. And at the time that I went on them, it wasn't even a decision. It was kind of like my Hail Mary, like this is it. I wasn't going to make it. I was doing so badly that trees and gardens and animals were all dying around me, and my hair was falling out. I was getting scary thin. I couldn't keep weight on. It was so it wasn't a hard decision for me to go on antidepressants. I didn't even know what antidepressants really were going to do. I just knew I needed help, and that's kind of what happens to a lot of us when you're going through a breakup with a narcissist, because you feel like you're going insane. And it's hard to handle just a breakup on its own, let alone all the things that they do to us after the breakup. And gallivanting around with the new supply, getting people plotting against you, your own friends and family. He turns into flying monkeys, and they always make you seem crazy, and that all of this was your fault. And the fact that they could start over so easily and watch us in turmoil, it's, I don't know how many of you out there went on antidepressants after your breakup, but I did. And like my friend, she wanted to know about whether or not she should go on them because she's depressed. But I advised her against it only because, when things are going bad in your life, say you're unhappy with your job, you're unhappy with where you live, you're just unhappy in a relationship, and you're depressed. Well, that depression is actually there to help you, to get you to change things in your life, to put you on the right path. It's there because when things are uncomfortable and upsetting you, then something's wrong. When you're unhappy, you need to change things to make yourself happy. And that's not, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, that is not a reason to go on antidepressants just because you're having a crappy time in your life. I mean, because once you go on antidepressants, it's hard to get off of them, and that is something I've now realized. I've been on them for just over 2 years, and I realized that I can't just simply go off of them. Right now, it's just not an option for me. I want to go off them one day, and I understand now that it's going to be very difficult. So things better be maybe down the line when things are so good for me that I can take on the challenge of going off of them. But it's not something that you can play with. I tried to wean myself off of them a couple times, and I just instantly started crying. It started being just like when my breakup first happened. I couldn't stop crying. I'm like, nope. That was like a failed attempt to go off of them. So I'm not attempting anymore. Not at this time. In the future, I definitely will. So that's one of the things I wanted to talk about, just because we're around the holidays, and the holidays they make it worse. Because I remember my ex around the holidays, he was with the New Supplies family. And when I look back at it, yeah, that first Christmas of us together, he did hang out with my family. We were all there for Christmas. And I think even the second year too, but that was it. After that, no more. And so it was just a persona he was putting on. He was playing the role of the perfect boyfriend that first Christmas with my family, and he was interacting with them and he was having fun, but that soon died off. And any other time around there, like, he would spend the whole night on his phone or doing something else or falling asleep. Yeah, he was one to always fall asleep in the corner, or he had a hard time keeping conversations going about anything that didn't pertain to him. Or if he did, it was exhausting. Like, I actually saw him fall asleep right in front of one of my uncles in mid-conversation. Like, it was embarrassing. I think that was just my ex that could fall asleep like that. But it was one of the patterns that I saw with him. And I'm seeing this pattern repeat in his new relationships, because guess what? He was there that first Christmas with her family and playing cards and, pretty much living there throughout the entire holidays. But now there's no going to spend any time with her family. So if she wants to spend time with her family, she's going to go do it alone, the same way that I did. And the reason I'm getting into this is because this is part of their pattern and their MO. Every narcissist will get exhausted around your family. I don't know, it doesn't matter if they're an overt or a covert narcissist, they get exhausted and they're not going to do it. So if you're, always looking for an extra, evidence for prosecution, I'm like, do they like being around your family and friends? And the answer is no. Because it drains their energy. If they can't get fuel and energy from those people in your life, then they don't want to be around them. And that's why they have to basically stay away. They'll tough it out that first year or two, but after that, they're not going to be going. And it's always like one of those things that you kind of fight about always, because you're supposed to go with your family for the holidays. And I remember our last Christmas together, we weren't around my family or his family. We went on a hike and stayed in a hotel and opened up Christmas gifts with just the two of us and our dogs. And he tried to make it seem like this was, we're doing the right thing. Everyone else is, in all these events and crowds, and we have it good, they don't. But that was kind of an excuse to get me away from my family during Christmas. And he tried to make it seem romantic when it wasn't. It was just him saving himself selfishly and taking away Christmas, from me in a way. And I can see that now, but I couldn't see it at the time. And it's really devastating when I look back at the times that I did miss, because I was trying to make him happy. I was trying to appease him, and I made so many excuses for him. And after your relationship with the narcissist ends, and it's one of those things that make you really depressed when you saw the things that he took from you. And the thing is, you're seeing the opposite usually when you see them with the new supply. But remember, they're only like that in the beginning. So try not to, if you're out there and you've just broken up with someone, or you're trying to still figure things out, and you're worried that, they weren't happy with me, but they're happy with this new person and they're doing everything with them that they didn't do with me. It's not. It's absolutely not. Remember that they're going to put on things on social media that look perfect when they're not. I mean, that is just textbook for a narcissist to do things like that. So I just wanted to give a quick chime in and to thank my donors to this channel, and to maybe address some of the antidepressants and the holidays and the things that we need to face during this time with our breakups, and all kind of band together here in the comments, because we're the only ones that understand what it was like to try to go through the holidays with a narcissist, because it was a hard thing to do. And it gets better. All right. It really does. The more talks like this that you listen to, the more people that you talk to that confirm that you're the normal one, and that you're actually lucky that you escaped the narcissist, the better and better it gets. So thank you so much, guys, for finding this channel and joining our tribe, as we are all survivors post-narcissist.